Hey everybody, this is NJ here, the host of the NJ podcast. This is Transformational Choosedays. This is part of the Everyday series where we get you to say like Jay-Z, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Let me handle my business, dang. And this is the 20th episode and it is the season finale for this segment of Transformational Tuesdays, part of the Everyday series. 20 episodes in, we're going to start planning the next ones, but this is a great milestone, well, at least for me. Hopefully it's for you and that you've enjoyed the series thus far, and we'll start planning the next ones. And on this season finale, we're going to talk about, it's a brand name, all right? Like Pepsi, it's a brand name. Right, so Alice temporarily said, you have to stay true to your heritage. That's what your brand is about. Meg Whitman said, when people use your brand name as a verb, that is remarkable. Let's talk about his airness. He played in 6 NBA finals, won 6 finals MVPs. He didn't allow a game 7 and won 6 NBA finals, 6 NBA championships without being defeated. He turned the Chicago Bulls into a dynasty. More than this, he was picked by the Nike brand to create a brand of shoes based on his winner's mentality and the way he flew through the air to complete a dunk. The shoes, Air Jordans, are one of the most popular out there and are synonymous in pop culture. There is even a song with the lyrics, J's on my feet. You know, he was able to take the game of basketball to another level of fame until the sport was ubiquitous with his name. Michael Jeffrey Jordan is highly regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time, and he is the first billionaire sportsman in history. How did this happen? Well, there is only one answer: brand equity. Brand equity. Now, what is brand equity? Brand equity is the commercial value that derives from a consumer's perception of the brand name of a product or service rather than from the product or service itself. It is your identity in the market. A major question is the business branding saying what I wanted to say? Your business image is based on the message that you send out to the market. If the message is positive, it will bring more customers. If the message is negative, it will deter customers. Your brand equity is paramount as part of your business. If you do not go through the initial questioning phase of brand equity, the message you send out may not be enough. It requires all your partners to be in alignment with what your brand says. A successful branding initiative is necessary and will start by answering the following questions. What are the values of my business? What does my business stand for? What do I want my business and brand to represent? How does my business offer value to my customers? How am I a unique force in the field of my business? What is the process that we can go to building a brand? Building and maintaining a brand is a continuous and iterative process. You won't get it right the first time. First, you need to understand what your brand means. To establish this, further unpack your business niche and how you're going to be unique from your competitors. Target the audience intimately and further understand how your product or service satisfies your customers and potential customers' needs, problems, and desires. Then you may need to create raving fans, brand ambassadors through your partners and employees in your business. This can be established by expressing what your brand represents in a simple way. Train your partners or employees on how to represent your brand and have systems that ensure partners or employees always keep the essence of your brand at heart. A further process of implementing your brand strategy is the following. You start off with discovery, the discovery phase. This tells you who you are as a business and who or what you want to become. What you think you are to the marketplace may be far from reality. It doesn't matter what you think, but what matters most is the customers who define your brand and their perceptions of it. To get clear insight, you may want to use customer surveys and brand auditing to get further insight into the direction you want to take your business in and what areas you want to affect change, and truly listen by putting your ego aside. Next step is clarification and articulation. Clarification and articulation. This is succinctly and eloquently presenting your business's character and values. This is informed by what you have gleaned in the discovery phase. Your identity and values are articulated into words, slogans, and a logo. Ensure that these elements of physical evidence are refined as much as possible. Effective brand names have the following elements. They keep their promise. They are memorable. They are distinctive and positive. They are a healthy company and have a healthy product category. There are no legal or regulatory restrictions. They create a bond with the customer. They are short and simple. They are easy to remember, translate, produce, and recognize. Next step we'll go in the process of defining your brand is differentiation and presentation. This is where you present your uniqueness and value to the world and customers. This is where the customer looks at you in comparison to the competition. You will now need to present what sets you apart from the market, which can be done through several strategic statements that guide future decision making. The next stage is the creative stage. This is where you are bringing out the distinguished identity, creative aspects, and physical evidence. This is where you bed down the packaging, the slogan, the color schemes, advertising videos, voice clips, and other forms of physical evidence. This is where your personal style and personality are articulated. Some elements of a good logo and corporate identity design are simplicity, proportionality, small color palette, legible fonts, practical, usable, and adaptable, originality, and works within industry conventions and captures the personality of the company. The next stage of your brand definition process is application. Application. This is where your brand is now announced to the world. Some elements can be the designing of websites, and enhancing social media interaction and awareness, and the creation of business cards. The aspects that determine the successful launch of a brand is an initial track record of value, employee conduct, articulation of character, and competitive edge. The creative elements are important, but tangible value comes first. Then aesthetic elements and attractiveness, as well as word of mouth, will propel the brand. Some brand launches may fail because less emphasis is placed on discovery, clarification, and articulation, differentiation and presentation, and rather focus on creative stages and application. Remember that the value you provide to the customer is far more important than a logo or a slogan, and this is the essence of brand equity. One thing you want to also do is to create brand insistence, where they ask for your brand name by name. Right? I remember when my mother sent me to the grocery store to get washing powder. She said, "Be sure to get the 1 kilogram Omo washing powder." I went to the store and got a different brand that did the same thing, but she was frantic and insistent. I asked for Omo, not whatever this is. "But Mom, it does the same thing and it's the same price and the same quality," I said. She was not having any of it, so I went back and got her the Omo. It is the same in her house with clothes, only Queen's Park, hair products, Dark and Lovely, and toothpaste, which she calls Colgate. What these brands were able to do in the example of my mother is to cultivate brand insistence. This is the case where a customer is so loyal to a brand that they do not want anything else, to the death. Apple has done this with iPhones, Nike did this with Jordans, and Google did this with search engines. Creating brand insistence is a big win, and here is a process to follow to assess your brand insistence. First one is awareness. This is the cornerstone of a strong brand. The main questions are your target customers and key stakeholders aware of your brand? Is this the first one that comes to their mind? I remember being in a business workshop and we did an exercise. We had to list the first company that came to our minds for the following industries: computers, clothes, search engines, soft drinks, and toys. The top answers were Apple for computers, Louis Vuitton and Gucci for clothes, Google for search engines, Coca-Cola for soft drinks, and Lego for toys. Why is this? Because these companies have created a brand that almost everyone is knowledgeable of. Amazon established a strong buzz when launched through affiliate links, leads to high search engine optimization. And Amazon also makes it easy to share items and purchases on social media and email. The next step when creating brand insistence is relevant differentiation. Relevant differentiation. This is the leading edge indicator of future market share and profitability. The main question to ask is your brand unique or different in customer relevant, customer compelling ways? The benefits should be defined in your value proposition. For Amazon, more than 500 million different products are available and they are easy to find through good search and browser technology. This ensures the ultimate convenience of one-stop shopping. The next step in brand insistence is value. Value. This talks to the benefits and pains relieved that the customer gains from your brand. The main question is, does your brand deliver a good value for this price? Amazon offers low prices, sometimes the lowest anywhere, and free shipping options sometimes, and helps shoppers find the best product through recommendations based on purchase history, user reviews and ratings, and suggested complimentary purchases. More value is added by allowing customers to preview the product by looking inside and listening to audiobooks through Audible. Next is accessibility. Accessibility. This is the affordance for your customers to access your offerings easily and quickly. This can be the tiebreaker between selecting your brand or a different one that may be more accessible. If the difference in accessibility is high, the customer may choose the more accessible brand. For example, for Amazon, there is 24/7, 365 access for one-click ordering and quick shipping options. An emotional connection. An emotional connection. This is how your brand transcends the logic of your customers and drives the decision making through feelings, identities, and emotional states. Those who are dedicated to Apple are not dedicated to the product necessarily, but they are dedicated to the emotional state and right to belong by being classified as someone who can think differently. Emotional connection to a brand will lead to brand loyalty and advocacy. For Amazon, customers personally connect to it through their user profiles, reviews, ratings, wishlists, and list mania for recommending favorite products. As an author, you have your own author page and can access detailed sales information through Author Central. Amazon also provides ways for authors to self-publishing using Kindle Direct Publishing, CreateSpace for print books, and ACX, your audiobooks. A simplified way to assess your brand insistence is to use a 10-point scale to answer each major question related to each element of brand insistence. Based on your answer, you can ask yourself, how can I improve this? Next, you work to put a strategy in place, as with a business map that you can put in place that looks at your different customers and your value propositions. You'll be able to assess your brand insistence every 2 to 3 months. Now let's talk about some brand strategies that you can use to make sure that people know that it's a brand name. A strategy is a plan of action designed to achieve a long-term overall aim. You should select a strategy that is contextualized to your situation. An effective brand strategy can be used to establish your offering in the market and cement your brand. Once you are successfully established, you can grow your brand and mature. Selecting a good brand strategy is important, as you may have to live with the branding decisions you make for a long time. Some commonly used branding strategies are word of mouth. Word of mouth. This is when a customer tells other customers about your brand, and this can be the most effective form of marketing. Customers normally buy from people they trust or people they know that trust a brand. The most recent powerful form of word of mouth is through social media platforms that establish you as a household name. To be successful in this strategy, you need to use the following: Target influencers who are leaders and influence a wide number of people about your brand. They can be journalists, bloggers, trendsetters, and public figures. Building a social media community can be the quickest way to spread information to increase brand awareness. Becoming a leader by not only relying on influencers but establishing a unique leadership position. Use honesty and integrity to help customers trust the brand as they become aware of it. Another strategy you can use is no brand branding. No brand branding. This is a strategy where you make your branding more conversational and visible by not branding it. This strategy seems to be counterintuitive but can be productive. Pick n Pay did this by using no-name branding to forego flashiness to save money so that its products will appeal to a segment of the market that wants quality products while not being concerned about the brand name. You can also use attitude branding. This is a strategy used for fostering a strong emotional connection and identity with the audience and consumers. This connection may not be linked with the product or service and solely focuses on lifestyle and identity and emotional state. Nike does this through the swoosh, which now represents a healthy and independent lifestyle in addition to the identity of being a go-getter through the slogan, "Just do it." By using the strategy, you will contribute to the customer's identity. For Converse, a customer who wears the sneakers is not about making a fashion statement, but also by making an identity statement. You can also think about brand extension. This is where an established brand name is used to boost the popularity and brand awareness of a new or revitalized product. This is often used in fashion, music, and hospitality. The product or service is not different from any other except it may have a new and popular brand name. An adverse effect of this is that the brand identity may be diluted. Therefore, carefully consider if your brand name can be watered down, as this strategy can fail you. You can use multi-brand strategy. This strategy will serve you best if you are in a saturated market. This is where you release 2 or more brands of the same product, making them seem like they are in competition in order to take a larger share of the market. The business case is that if you have 5 out of 10 brands, then you will capture a larger market. Share them if you have only had 1 brand, as if you have a larger market share than if you only had 1 brand. If your businesses can launch more than 1 brand in a campaign, then launching multiple brands may increase your revenue. This strategy can improve your overall brand awareness, even if it is split amongst several brands. Diluting the brand. Now, I'm a big fan of Denzel Washington. One of the best performances was in American Gangster as Frank Lucas. Now, Frank Lucas was a gangster who made inroads into the Harlem drug trade through his product, Blue Magic. His genius was in getting the drugs straight from the source in Vietnam, where the product was 100% pure. He cut out the middleman, created a sales team, processes, and a system to distribute his product, and reached a point where he was making $1 million a day. The brand equity and insistence were very strong amongst customers and fellow dealers who bought from him. He held his brand in such high regard that when he found out that Nicky Barnes was buying his product, diluting it and selling it as Blue Magic, he was beside himself. I don't understand why you gotta take something that's perfectly good and then mess it up. Pepsi, it's a brand name. Like Blue Magic, it's a brand name. I stand by it. I guarantee it. They know that, even though they don't know me anyway. They know me as the chairman of General Mills. What I'm talking about is that when you chop my dope down 3, 4, 5% and then you call it Blue Magic, that is trademark infringement. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to insist that you change the name. But don't let me catch you doing this again. Well, that was my rendition of it. It wasn't perfect, but I don't condone selling drugs. However, I admire the passion with which Frank protected and valued his brand. We should have the same mindset, because your brand is a reputation that you use to serve others. Protect it with all your might. What can we expect from having strong equity and making sure that people know that it's a brand name? Building a brand is building your business's identity to the market. By establishing a strong brand equity through a well thought out brand building process, assessment of brand assistance, and continuous and iterative application of brand strategies, you will be the business that customers want to go to. You can be the Michael Jordan, Apple, Amazon, Beyonce, Nike, and NJ of your space. Warren Buffett said, "It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it." If you think about that, you'll do things differently. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Transformational Choosedays, the season finale, where we talked about It's a Brand Name. If you like this episode, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Head over to the website to get yourself some merchandise and books, and choose today to build a great brand name and to build great brand assistance. And thank you very much for all the listeners and and being part of this journey through to the season finale. We'll be planning season 2 of Transformation Tuesdays as part of the Everyday series, where we get you to say, like Jay-Z, "I'm not a businessman, I am a businessman. Let me handle my business, damn." And I will see you on the next season of Transformational Tuesdays.